Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and I help people find their center. In this video, I'm going to share with you the dark side of spiritual awakening. The dark aspects that no one tells you, the dark aspects that no one talks about. And we talk about love and light. It's all good. A lot of my videos that have come out that I've recently posted was talking about the light side of things, the sun, the yang side, all the good stuff. However, that's really not with the whole coin. That's only looking at one aspect of things. Things really have multiple sides, and it's not where our light is where we grow. It's actually in the shadows. We grow like the lotus flower. We grow out of the mud. We grow out of the dark, damp mud and blossom into that lotus flower. So our most painful experiences, look back on your own childhood, look back on your path, and you'll actually find that the greatest trauma and the greatest pain often has the greatest payoffs, gifts, and lessons. I can speak from personal experience going through my journey that, like Napoleon Hill says, you want to find with everything, like the seed that has the equivalent gold within it. So and seeds come up from the darkness. We're born into the womb. The womb is not a place of light. It is very dark. It is very yin. It is very receptive. And ether, the space between things, the void, these are all where we actually do our most growth. Doing shadow work, working on the yin aspect of ourselves, working by going within into the darkness and shining a light is where most of our power is held. So for those of you that don't know my story, I spent a lot of time by myself. I was ignored a lot growing up. I was screaming out for help for 19 years of my life, but I didn't. It was like I was trapped in a closet. It was like I was trapped under the ocean, and imagine being underwater and screaming and doing all you can, thrashing about, but no one heard me. No one could save me. And I went through a deep, dark time in my life. I came out as transgender at 19 years old, and I had tremendous pain up until that point. Pain of not being able to express myself. Anytime I was born in the mid-'80s, and anytime that you strayed from the path of, like, anytime I didn't adhere to the gender that I was assigned at birth, I was made fun of. I was put down. I was saying, don't be like that. Don't be yourself. You need to be this way because this is what society says. This is what society expects of you, being labeled and judged and assigned my sex at birth. And it just never resonated with me. So my peers and people tried to force me to be more girly. People tried to force me to be something I wasn't. And that has tremendous spiritual, psychological, and emotional effects. Like, I developed a drinking problem because I tried to suppress it. Because anytime I tried to express it, going through, like, I'd say beyond 7, 8, 9 years old and into my teens, every time I would try to express my masculine energy, I was made fun of. I was forced to try to be somebody who I wasn't. So I developed the drinking problem at 12, 13, 14 years old, and I did that to suppress who I was. I drank all the way from 12, 13, 14 years old until my mid-30s. Why? Because I was trying to suppress myself. I was trying to stuff back who I was. I was trying to stuff back and suppress my spiritual gifts, my empathy, me being sensitive, and I had to develop like a tough shell. And it wasn't until I came out at 19 years old that I finally felt free. But if I didn't go through all these painful experiences, if I didn't go through this trauma, I wouldn't be this amazing being that I am today. So that darkness, that yin energy, that pressure, it's like a pressure cooker. It's like the more you feel that pressure, it causes you to go to that next level. And like I said, you don't do that within the light. So look at some of the most painful experiences of your life and try to learn something from it. What did this teach you? For me, it taught me that I have tremendous strength. It taught me that I have this, like I said, I was suicidal for a long time. I wanted to end my life, but there was something within me that wouldn't let me. There was something within me that taught me that there's more to life than just this physical matrix. There's more to life than just pain and trauma. And the shadow side, the dark side of a spiritual awakening that nobody talks about is the tremendous amount of pain that you go through, is that it's a very lonely journey. It's about being alone. The dark side of a spiritual awakening is that I felt alone. I felt disconnected from those around me. I felt like I never fit in. I felt like, why is this happening to me instead of why is this happening for me? And that's because of the dark night of the soul. What is the dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul is like a spiritual depression. It's a part of the spiritual awakening journey that forces you to go within. It forces you to face yourself. It forces you to realize that you have nowhere else to run and nowhere else to turn, that there's nothing outside of you that can help you. There is nothing outside of you that can, fix you, so to speak. And I know somebody in my family recently, within the last week or two, tried to commit suicide. And it's because this person is having a spiritual awakening. I tried to do that when I didn't understand what was going on. But really, I had to go within. It forced me to face myself. It forced me to embrace the darker aspects of myself that I wasn't really willing to face. It forced me to take a good hard look at myself, and it's not always pleasant. Spiritual awakening, this journey is not for the faint of heart. Transitioning, people with autism, people with special abilities, rainbow children, rainbow individuals usually go through some amount of tremendous pain that helps to transform you to the next level. So the dark night of the soul, the feeling alone, feeling disconnected, feeling like there's no end in sight, it's like a spiritual depression. It's you can go through an ego death, which means that this persona that you've created, the ego, which stands for edging God out, means is just like your character needs to go through some sort of transformation. It's like the hero's quest. Like Neo had to come to terms, Neo from the Matrix had to come to terms with his shadow self. He had to come to terms with his limiting beliefs. He had to go through all that pain in order to transform and to transmute that darkness. And nobody can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. So it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It feels like there's no end in sight. You may feel stuck. You may feel alone. You may feel like the outcast in your family. You may have been the one that went through the most trauma in your life. You may have been abused. You may have had certain quote-unquote negative things happening to you, and it's okay to be there. You may go through, like I said, an ego death. You may go through questioning reality. You may go through asking yourself, who am I? Why did this stuff happen to me? And it's because you're getting to the next level. But in order to do that, you have to fight the demons within. You have to wrestle them to the ground. I had to face myself, and I'm in the process of going through a dark night of the soul right now. I go through phases, like a snake shedding its skin, like I said, the lotus flower growing out of the mud. It only grows in the darkness. It only grows through that absence of light. It's when I fully realize and feel that I'm alone that I'm actually realizing my connection to everything else. And that is the greatest illusion. The greatest illusion is separation. So it's okay to be in the dark night of the soul, spiritual awakening, and the dark night of the soul, the tower moment. They can all feel tremendously painful. They can feel tremendously burdensome. You may have some of these thoughts like, why is this happening to me? You may want to end your life. And I can tell you there is a way out. And there's also many levels to it. Think of it like an onion. There's one layer after another. You may go through spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul, spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul. And it's actually like a spiral that each level and each layer you're willing to face takes you deeper within. And like the Tool song 46 and 2, I can feel the shadow changing, stretching up and over me. Soften this old armor. I can feel the way stretching through my shadow, coming out the other side. That song right there talks about the spiritual awakening process, but from the dark night of the soul perspective. It talks about transmuting your darkness, and no form of denial, no form of rejection, no form of suppression, or any of that stuff will remove the dark night of the soul. It actually creates more resistance. So by looking at it, by saying, okay, and I hope that this video helps you, because like I said, the dark side of the spiritual awakening, the shadow side that nobody talks about, literally is the shadow. And what you face, what you resist, persists. It's time to look within. There's nowhere else to go. Let's hold up that mirror. The mirror shows the reflection. And it is, like I said, the darkness, the yin that we're all born from, which is where our true power lies, and that's within. And like I said, you're a strong being, and you're only given what you can handle. So it may feel like there's no end in sight. It may feel like a spiritual depression and anxiety and fear, shame, guilt, all of these lower things and your traumas, and you may be going through a hard time right now, and that's okay. It's okay to not feel good all the time. It's okay not to try to feel positive. It's okay to try to feel whatever it is you're feeling and just be okay with that. It's also okay to not be okay. You don't have to be the strength for everyone. You don't have to be that lighthouse all the time. It's okay to rest. It's okay to feel whatever it is you're feeling, positive, negative. You don't always have to keep that smile on your face and act like everything's okay. You'll get through it. This is happening for you to push you to the next level. What do you have to learn? What are you still hiding? Every hero, which is you, you're your own hero, has to go through a journey, has to go through that darkness in order to transmute and become the hero. In order for Excalibur to be born, it had to go through the fire. It had to go through the process of transformation. We have to go from Scorpio, which is the ultimate yin, the ultimate darkness, to Sagittarius, which is the phoenix being born from the ashes. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what you're doing. And it does get, I can't say it does get easier, it does get better. It does at some point. However, the quicker that you face your own resistance, the faster that you look within and do what you got to do. No one can do the work for you. We can wish you well, we can send you all the love and light that you want, but until you face yourself within, there is no amount from the outside that can seep within. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. We're going through a powerful time on the planet. Right here in the United States, I especially feel that we're going through a dark night of the soul collectively on this planet, especially, like I said, collectively in the United States. Collectively, we're being forced to go within. We're being forced to question reality. We're being forced to take off the masks and to really give ourselves a good look. So give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know where you are at on your spiritual journey. Let me know some of the symptoms and side effects that you've been experiencing from the dark night of the soul, from the tower moment, from your spiritual awakening. And I hope everyone has an amazing day. You're strong and powerful, and you got this. Thank you. Peace and namaste.